Once again, we're looking at Old Latrobe. The dating here on this map is 1939, and we are going to look at some areas over in here. What I hope to do here is focus a little bit closer than that. See, this is the railroad coming in through Latrobe. This point right here is where we'll start to take a look. We'll be looking down Ligonier Street, down this direction. After that, we'll move back up this way and come up around here, where Ligonier Street goes over the Loyal Hannah. This is the view, looking southeast. The railroad was not the only creature around town that had rails. There were trolleys. They were a useful device to travel more locally than the railroad could do. I sometimes work on these old pictures, as I did on this. I like to think of this as what it might have felt like. This is what it probably looked like. But I look at the views that I make of what I think it felt like, and I kind of like them better. This is further down Ligonier Street, showing the trolleys and the old cars. This is probably the 1920s. What you'll notice here, and I'm going to try to show you, is that by 1892, Latrobe was generating its own electricity. Although the trolleys ran on electricity, I suspect this was not the kind of electricity they needed. This was probably AC, and the trolleys ran on DC. The trolleys had a generating house. This is not it. This is in Latrobe, right beside the brewery, and it's still there. This was a streetcar barn in Latrobe where they kept them overnight. This is what it looked like in 1939, look from the air. And you can see it was bigger then. Part of it has since then been removed. This is looking down again, present tense. We have the brewery over here. This is what's left of the remnant of the old streetcar barn. Over here, there was once upon a time a company, a factory that made paper. This takes us back to 1901. This is Ligonier Street going through. This is the Loyal Hannah. This is the old brewery. I emphasize old brewery because there is a newer one now, built about 1939. This was the paper company that is no longer there. They moved out to Kingston. This shows you mapping from 1892 of the paper company, Loyal Hannah Paper, James Peters Company. And you'll notice the paper company had no less than 8 boilers. And you don't see any rails around there that would have brought coal in on the railroad to keep those boilers firing. Perhaps that's the reason why Peters Paper moved out to Kingston, and they did. But this is a picture of it before they moved out to Kingston. This is not the original paper company that was there. The original paper company was in the same location, but it was made out of wood, and it burnt down. It burnt down in 1879. And that was the occasion that prompted Latrobe to build a fire company. This is Peter's paper out at Kingston after they moved out of Latrobe. Now, in the older days, this shows the older location of the paper company. It was not Peter's paper then. It was a wooden structure. It's the one that burnt. Here we are, back to 1901, showing the old brewery here. We're going to see some more shots of the old brewery that was built about 1893. At one point, Pittsburgh Brewery took it over, almost until the time of Prohibition. Another shot of it. I wish I had better photography to show you, but sometimes stuff like this is all I have to show you. This is going over the bridge over the Loyal Hannah. Another shot going over the Loyal Hannah, showing a rather unfortunate photo showing the old brewery. This old brewery started out around 1893 and lasted around 1939 when the Tito brothers got a hold of the brewery and built the newer buildings that most people know as Rolling Rock. That was not the only brewery in town. There was another one. This is, or was, the Loyal Hannah Brewery, which was, I'm told, on Jefferson Street over there. Maybe someone can tell me exactly where it was. I don't know that. Curiously, you'll see in the background St. Vincent. The wherefore of that is that this brewery, the Loyal Hannah Brewery, claimed to have gotten the recipe from the monks at St. Vincent, and they were brewing a beer called monastery beer. And this did upset some of the clergy in around Pittsburgh and other places. They felt it wasn't proper and correct for a monastery to be brewing beer. But frankly, the traditions of St. Vincent had come from Germany, where monasteries brewing beer was pretty much a usual thing. This brewery went out of business with Prohibition and didn't start up again. And that's all for now. And we're going to say so long. We'll see you again. Bye.